So continue. Part number 6, reheating liquids. So that's what big difference between Ashkenazic approach and Sephardic approach. Okay, so let's read and we explain. Reheating liquids that have been previously cooked is a subject to the much controversy. So it's not like these people have this, Ashkenazic have one Torah, Sephardic brothers have another Torah. No. We have the same Torah, but Chachamim in one day they decided to go by this opinion, and Ashkenazim decided, our Chachamim decided to go by more stricter opinion for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's not up to us to decide what is right or what is wrong. We just follow our tradition. Okay. So continue. A. The Paskim rule that cooked liquid that has cooled may not be some Paskim rule that cooked liquids that has cooled may not be reheated. Okay, some, not everybody. Okay, so if it cooled completely, you cannot reheat. and it's not completely. We're going to see the definition of cool. This reason, the reason for this distinction between liquids and solids is that liquids are not generally cooked for the purpose of altering the quality of the food as solids. I mean, usually liquids you can drink as it is, right? So meat you cannot eat raw; you need to cook it, or potatoes, right? But liquids, I mean, water you can drink water like this, right? You can drink milk, whatever, different liquids. You don't need to cook them. Okay, that's the difference. But for the purpose of warming the liquid, so that there may be enjoyed while hot. So the difference is, so you want to enjoy while it's hot. Like soup, usually people don't eat cold soup. Therefore, once cooled, reheating the liquid is significant improvement and is prohibited. So cooking itself, as we said, is not significant, right? But reheating is. So, for example, this water from soup, this liquid broth, like from soup. I mean, it was water before. You could have run this water by itself, right? And it's not big improvement, but it is improvement when it's hot. So people, as I said, usually would not. I mean, I would not eat. I mean, unless there's no other way, you have no other choice. But usually people eat soups like when they want, or tea, or coffee, or whatever, right? Thus, this liquid, with the liquids, the rule is there is a prohibition of cooking that which was already been cooked. So with liquids, we're going by, it's a stringent opinion, of course, but that's what we abide by. If it was cooked and cooled, we're not allowed to warm it up. Continue. B. The opinion that liquids are like solids. Other poskim do not accept this distinction and rule that the liquids are not different from solids in this respect, and they may be reheated even when completely cooled. So I think Rabbi says it also, he goes by this opinion. So basically, if you follow Sephardic custom, you can take the soup from refrigerator and put on a blech, and on top of the inverted vessel, and there is no problem. You can cook it like this.
You know about that?
And according to Ashkenazic tradition, you out. Okay, go ahead.
About this, the question is, can you definitively warm up water for tea on Shabbos, assuming it may be equivalent to warm up soup according to Sephardic custom?
Yeah, if it was cooked water, not fresh water. If it's cooled off, you want to put it on a stove, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So according to Ashkenazic tradition, so like if you take out, let's say Shabbos morning, you take a pot, right? And you have, I don't know, whatever you have there, rice. When you take lid from the pot, right, it's always kind condensate, right? There is like drops of water. So you're not allowed to put it on top of the blech. So what we do, we take napkin, right? And we wipe all of this visible. We don't go crazy, but at least visible, or we just transfer to dry container. So that's another solution. So we not even drop smallest drops of water we're going to cook.
I was wondering the same about the droplets of water.
Yeah, that's what we do. And same is with the tea, as we said. We were discussing before. So you take this what is it? This cup, pour water from the urn, and then you put in a third cup. No, second cup. Second. It's a third vessel. Urn is first one. Cup is a second, and the second cup is the third vessel. So you put there. You make whatever you need to make. You make coffee. Let's say in that cup. But the first cup, after the first use, would have a few droplets, right? So they would, cool off. So even though they were cooked, so according to this, we're not allowed to cook even after it was cooked. So some people are trying to be very careful, and they would wipe this cup dry before they use it again.
But the question was if how to serve food on Shabbos. I mean, with the dish close to the blech, or taking out the pot out of the blech and going with the pot.
Exactly. It's I'm not sure. It's next chapter. No. Okay, it's not the next chapter, but we're going to get to it in details. Yes. Reheating. Okay, so it's actually number 4. So we're in number 2 and 3, and then 4. We're going to discuss what we said in details.
Okay, but
basically, it is that's the procedure. You take it completely, because why taking completely? We already discussed last time. So when you take out some food, so it looks like that you accelerate the cooking. You understand? So from people who see you, like. They have no idea. So we have many times we have people over for Shabbos, and some people, they have no idea. I mean, they're not very knowledgeable in Shabbos law. So if we're going to start taking food from pot that is on the blech, so they would think that it is allowed to cook on Shabbos. How do they know it's ready? You understand? So maybe part is ready, we take it from the bottom. And we say the stirring is not allowed because it's accelerate the cooking. So we take completely, put it on the table. You still hold it by the handle. You have still in the mind that I want to return. And while it's still warm, you serve to everybody, close the lid, and put it back while it's still warm. So that's a permissible way, and that's very practical. So one more time. So that's the difference between Ashkenazi tradition and Sephardi tradition. So Sephardi tradition, there is no problem. They say there is no cooking. They go by this second opinion, right? The opinion is they actually say that liquids and solids, there is no difference in the heating. Okay, continue. Okay, so continue. In practice, the stringent view is followed. So one more time, we're talking about Ashkenazi tradition. So before that, I think everything is the same. Therefore, one may not reheat liquid once they have cooled completely. So we need the definition of completely, right? However, if they have only partially cooled and still warm enough to be suitable for a warm drink, whatever is it, right? Then they may be reheated to a higher temperature. Since they are still warm, reheating is not significantly improved. So, for example, soup. Sometimes when I eat soup, I'd like it a little hotter. I mean, I would eat it like that. So if I'm in a rush or this or that, so I would eat it like that. But I would prefer a little hotter. So if I have time, I'm not very lazy, let's say. So I would reheat it for another 2 minutes. This soup. So is it a significant improvement? Okay, it's improvement for me, but technically I would eat the way it was. But if it was cold, like cold soup, I would not eat it, for example, right? So that's why they say if you would eat it anyway, and most of the people, so we don't go by individual opinion, but if most of the people would would consider this as a warm soup, right, or warm drink, or warm whatever, right, warm tea, right. So I would prefer a little hotter tea, but this is also sufficient. So then you're allowed to warm up. Again, we're talking about Ashkenazi tradition. If it's cooled to completely too much, so we're not allowed to put it back to reheat. If one is currently reheated, cooled, cooked a liquid, that is by placing it on the top of the pot that is on the fire, he may nevertheless derive benefit from the liquid. So, okay, so since we have this opinion that would allow us to drink this liquid that was completely cooked, right? So after the fact, so the outside is allowed. See chapter 3 for these proper methods of warming up the liquids on Shabbos. So it's next chapter. Okay. As noted in the case of the solid foods, the rabbinic prohibition of to place foods directly on a flame or a blech. So one more time, there is no difference whatsoever. So you cannot put things on a blech directly. So we have to put on a pot, inverted pot, or inverted aluminum container. So I mean, if it's soup, of course, it's going to crash this aluminum container. It's not going to fly, right? So, or another solution, what people do, that's what we do. If we make a stew, right? So if we leave this pot from the beginning of Shabbos, so there is no problem. So from the beginning of Shabbos, before the Shabbos begins, sorry. And so it can stay on the blech. There is no problem whatsoever. But once you remove it, that's it, right? So I mean, that's the idea. It's not for usually not for a Friday night. It's usually for the next day, right? Okay. So continue. One more time, the last sentence. As noted in the case of the solid foods, there is a rabbinic prohibition to place foods directly on the blech, directly on the fire or blech. Thus, even the warm liquid may not be placed on the blech, and certainly not over the fire. So the fire must be covered 100%. The proper methods of reheating is described in chapter 4. Okay. So in some cases, there is no room to put the blech on top of like inverted vessel on top of the blech. So example would be a crack pot, right? So in crack pot we just put blech. So blech would be like piece of aluminum foil, right? You put it your line on the bottom, and it's going to be separation. So you remind yourself, I'm not cooking. I'm today's Shabbat, basically. Of course, there is no room to put there anything else. Okay. Summary: cooked liquids that have been cooled may not be reheated on Shabbos. So Sephardic tradition goes by second opinion. They say they do. Okay. However, while still warm, they may be reheated to a higher temperature, but not directly on a flame or a blech. So if it's still warm, according to Ashkenazi tradition, you can put it on top of the inverted vessel, and there is no problem. You can, if it's still warm. Any questions on what we said?
Yeah.
We finish this second chapter.
Okay, about the Ashkenazi custom of water. If we have a boiled teapot of water, and we take it out, and it's still warm, can we return it to the blech?
Yes.
Directly on the blech?
No, not directly. That's the thing. So even though it was, I hear a question. It was if you put it before Shabbat started, there was no problem whatsoever. But now you cannot put it directly on the blech, only on the inverted vessel.
Oh.
So, but you're right. But if it's hot, I mean that's what people used to do in the olden days. I mean, they didn't have all of these gadgets that we do now. All this electronics, right? That's what they used to do. They put this tea kettle, right, with a hot water.